Welcome to the Weir Pod. As you know, or those people that follow us, every week we share stories of people from across our industry so that we can see what their journeys have been like. But we couldn't do this without our partners at Digital Sparks, who very, very kindly give us this wonderful studio space and their time and expertise to produce these brilliant podcasts. So if you're not familiar with Digital Sparks, do go over to their socials, give them a follow, and support them in their business. I'm delighted to have as our guest today the wonderful Liz Jeffery, who's a property professional at Harrison Homes. Liz is the absolute definition of community champion, living and working in Faversham, where she's a familiar and trusted face. She's passionate about the juggle, the delicate, chaotic balance we have between being a dedicated mum while still being a top-tier professional. So Liz, thank you so much for joining us today, coming all the way up from Kent.
Thank you for inviting
coming into the big smoke. So it's great to see you. Before we sort of get into what you're doing now, can we hear a little bit about your background? Because you're one of those many people in estate agency who say you're an accidental estate agent. So how did that happen?
So I still don't really think I'm an estate agent, to be honest.
You are.
But I help people move, so I guess I am. So originally my background is IT, business development, and then went on into marketing. Around the time I had children, I went self-employed, did much more of the marketing. And then my brother, who is an estate agent, was sort of looking to change his direction, and I set up an estate agency business
With him?
With him,
right?
He was purely estate agency, and I was purely marketing, and we kept the roles very separate. So that's how it started out. But then I realised there was something about the industry and the people that I loved.
What was it that really attracted you?
If somebody was really stuck and I could make a difference, that was the first hook, I think.
And do you know, that's such a good motivator, isn't it? It's helping people because for whatever reason that they need to move home, whether it's a relocation for work or downsizing or upsizing, they need to move, and it's helping them make that transition. So your motivation is not necessarily the financial, and obviously there is a financial reward, but it's being able to help people.
Exactly.
I think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
I love
it. If I've got a good story out of it, it's worth more than a huge commission.
So that was set up with your brother in Faversham, your hometown.
Yep.
And are you still working with your brother?
No.
Okay. So how long ago was this?
So this was 2016.
Okay.
We went very quickly from nothing to market share. It was very much a business within the community, which is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And we just realised that things were going in different directions and we wanted different things. So I came out of it. I came out of estate agency completely.
Was that a difficult conversation to have with him?
It was horrible, yeah.
Okay.
It was.
So the business carried on, it didn't fold? Yeah. So does he still have that business?
He still has that business.
Okay. In Faversham?
In Faversham.
Okay, right. So you left estate agency for how long?
So I didn't quite give it up because I set up a marketing agency for independent estate agents, so I was still in it. I came out for about 4 years, but I was working very closely with Harrison's, who taught me, eventually when I realised that I missed it, they got me back on board.
So you're now basically the go-to person in Faversham, is that right? But it's not your own business?
Not at the moment.
But do you feel as if you're a partner in the business?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably key to why you enjoy it so much, that you're very invested in it. So are you in direct competition with your brother's business, or do you look at different sectors of the market?
I don't I wouldn't say we are.
Right.
I don't know if he feels differently, but I'm very sort of specific about who I want to work with. I've got a definite type of house and type of client. I keep the numbers very small. Unless I've had a direct referral, I'll only work in the Faversham area.
Right, okay.
So I don't want to take on every listing.
Yeah. But you are so well known in Faversham, as I understand, and you know you're centred in the community, but with your business as well. And I know that you said that you're never really off. You've got to be on because you see people on the high street in the parks walking the dog. Tell me a little bit about that and how you can potentially switch off, or do you ever switch off?
I love my community and my town. And I love being part of it. And if I wasn't an estate agent, I'd be in it every day, chatting to people. It's just the conversations are different. So it's not like I'm on or I'm off. It's just
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is your life.
Just, yeah.
And one of the things, and this is actually the first time I ever came across you, and it's a few years ago, you created a Monopoly game for Faversham. And I just thought, that's a fantastic thing to do for fundraising in my own community. I think this was before I even had the business. So I reached out to you, and I think you'd had loads of people saying, yeah, this is a great idea. But then you told me what was involved, because it wasn't quite as easy or as straightforward. So tell me a little bit about that. What was the motivation, first of all?
Well, again, that was an accident.
Right,
so
of course it was.
In my previous business, I thought it'd be a nice Christmas present to create a Monopoly game for my children.
Right.
Using the houses that I sold that year.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Yeah,
Didn't realise that was where the germ of the idea came from.
Exactly, and all the cards were sort of like the chance cards and the community chest were very sort of specific to the business and a bit of fun really, and just sort of put it online just because it was Christmas and everyone went, where can I get one? And so it sort of gave me the seed of an idea. So originally when I came out of the previous business, I thought, well, I'll set up a company and create Faversham Monopoly and that'll be that. And then COVID hit.
Right.
So I thought, I can't really ask people for money now.
No.
So shelved it, but as people do, they all came along saying,
it was a good idea.
When are you going to do it? And then in the end, I just bit the bullet and said, I'm going to try this. It wasn't, the idea was to create 2,500 games, which we did, but we had to raise sort of tens of thousands of pounds to make it under licence to Hasbro.
Really?
Yeah.
So where did you raise that money from?
A number of ways. We had, so went out to local businesses, so sponsorship first of all.
Would those businesses then be on the Monopoly board?
They're on the board.
Right.
Then we did crowdfunding. Some roads got together and crowdfunded so their roads could be on the board.
Right, okay.
We did competitions, tombolas, quiz nights.
Goodness me.
Yeah, it was hard, but I managed.
But presumably that money could be paid back into the community once the games were sold.
Yeah. So at least £5 from every game goes back into the community.
Right. And is it still being sold?
Still being sold.
Oh, really?
So I still have a market still selling them.
So obviously you mentioned licensing, so you have to go, I can't remember who produces.
Hasbro.
Right. So you had to go and get permission to use or create it under license.
Yeah.
How do you manufacture it?
They do it all.
Oh, they do it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So you have to raise the money for the production.
Right.
They're very strict on what you can have on there.
Right, okay. What the type of business?
The type of business, the graphics you use, things like that. But actually, it was a really fun project because a bit like estate agents, people would come up to me and go, I hate Monopoly. but I love this.
I know, but honestly, since childhood, it has been, the cause of many family rows. I remember it as children. I remember it with my children. We tried different variations of it, junior versions and electronic versions. But everybody's got Monopoly in their house, haven't they?
Yeah.
And having a local one, I think, is a fabulous idea.
It is. It's, yeah, I mean, people still come up to me. I still get sent photos of them playing it randomly, and it's just really nice.
But do you think, obviously, that was a community project, but does that then have an impact on your business? I know it's not your business, but your work, because people are drawn to you because you really are embedded into the community.
Yeah, and that's it. I always have been part of the community, and things like that just sort of raise your profile a bit. I still do the market stall at events. We have a lot of events in Faversham.
I hope you get some help with this, Liz. Really? You should insist upon it.
Oh, it's good fun though. And this year I am going to sort of bring in the estate agency side a little bit more. But it's also, I do a lot with Visit Faversham and local tourism businesses. So being able to help and support them at the same time.
It's that kind of cross-referral, isn't it? I think, if communities where you've got local businesses, instead of competing with each other, I think we can all support each other. What I find in my community is that a lot of the actual people with offices on our high street are less likely to get involved in events than some of the people working out of serviced offices and homes. And I don't really understand why, but maybe they need a game of Monopoly. That's what we should do. So, Liz, I know that you're a mum. You're a mum to two teenagers?
Yeah, 2 teenage girls.
So
it's fun.
How old are they now?
18 and 15.
So challenging age. Yeah. Can be, yeah. But how have you juggled motherhood with work? Because you've worked right through.
It's always been a juggle, and I think the fact that if something needs doing, I'll make the time. So I'm not afraid of working evenings or weekends. But sort of actually separating the time, I've had to be really strict on like holidays and things, because otherwise...
You take your holidays? And do you look at your phone during the holidays?
I limit it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's when they're not around and it's downtime, then I can do that.
And are your girls proud of you? Do they know what you really do and how? I mean, they must see you. You're an amazing role model for them. Yeah,
I think the fact that I'm so in the community can be a bit cringy sometimes, but I think they are. Yeah, I think
my children refuse to have photographs. No, not completely, but they don't like me taking photographs. You're going to put it all over social media, Mum, which I never did before I had the business. I was always involved in the community and the school events and all of that kind of thing, but I was never on social media. That was not my thing at all. And they could do their own thing, but we're parents. We're there to embarrass them. That's our job. Teenagers, of course.
I am succeeding in that
I know.
respect.
Well, I do. Mine are a little bit older now, so they're not as embarrassed. But yes, as teenagers, we're there to embarrass them always. But in terms of your sort of, I don't know, returning to work, because I know you had an issue with your previous employer, not an estate agent, when you first became pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So I was working for a small local business, which was great until I fell pregnant, and then life became very, very difficult, and they were just being really obstructive and sort of a bit of bullying, basically.
Right, okay. Were they trying to restrict the amount of times you had off for hospital appointments and these midwifery appointments?
We haven't even got to that stage.
Oh, really?
It happened really, really quickly. So I found
This was a small business?
Yeah.
So I do think that, you know, some small businesses, they struggle to cope with maternity leave. So they were possibly thinking ahead. But it's a reality of life, isn't it? You know, women are going to get pregnant and have babies. So you've got to make provision, even if it's a small business.
I feel as well, there was another woman that had just come back from maternity leave. And I think looking back, it might have been sort of, oh, not again.
Right.
But yeah, that was quite a challenging time, and I was effectively sacked. So it did involve a tribunal.
And you won that.
My baby, yeah.
Yeah. Did they have anything to defend themselves?
No,
bizarre behaviour. I mean, I'd like to think that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore, but I suspect it does.
I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't heard of a story like that. But then, you know, most of my friends are not having babies, a bit older. But what impact did that have on you mentally, having gone through that? Because it can't be easy having to go to take an employer to tribunal.
No, and they really sort of dragged it out. So
that doesn't surprise me.
I was getting married as well. So I had my daughter. I was getting married, I think it was about a month before my wedding that we had the final tribunal. And yeah, it was not nice, and I won, and it was great. Put that out your mind, but of course you don't. That's when the shock hits you, because you've been on autopilot. And of course, I find myself defined by working. I like working, and suddenly I was just a mum, and it was that hit. So yeah, I had postnatal depression.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and that was quite hard.
And how quickly did you recognise that in yourself?
I don't think I recognised it for a long time.
Okay, so how did you go to the doctor and explain how you were feeling?
I think from memory, it's all a bit of a blur now, but from memory, I think it was one of the midwives picked up on it, and I thought, oh yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
And I sort of, my eldest, it was, I thought it was just being a new mum, and
because you don't know, do you? You don't know what's normal.
No, exactly. And she'd been poorly when she was first born as well, so it'd been quite a time. So I think it was a knock-on effect of all these things.
So a lot going on.
Yeah.
All at the same time. And of course, getting married as well. I mean, that should be a really happy time. And it sounds like it was kind of tainted by, partly by your previous employer, but also the postnatal depression. And did you get treatment for that?
I did, yeah.
And how quickly did you come through that once it was identified and diagnosed properly?
Yeah, I think so. I'd had counselling before. So I was on antidepressants and started counselling. I'd had it before and it never really worked for me. I was like, I'll tick that box, done that. And I actually had it for, I was still having the same counsellor after my second daughter was born.
Oh, really?
So it was for a long time. And that was brilliant.
Right.
Yeah, that. And I think it took a long, long time.
And all this time you were working?
Yeah.
But you say you like working. I think sometimes women that go back to work are wrong, women that stay at home are wrong, the ones that do it, whatever we do, it seems like somebody is going to tell us what we're doing is wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with us enjoying going to work. No. Doing something that is outside the home, but it's also, there's nothing wrong with staying at home either. And we've got this in our heads that we're not doing anything right, but you obviously, which may have contributed to the postnatal depression, I guess.
It was a massive, that was the first meeting with the counsellor. she sort of said, "What's the problem?"
Yeah.
And I just went, "I feel like I'm just a mum," and broke down. It still gets me a bit now. And I worked
this
out...
is 18 years
Yeah.
later, gosh.
Yeah. I worked out that was okay, and we made peace with it, but just that feeling of just being defined as a mum, I felt was so wrong.
It's more my story than yours this time. But so when my eldest was born, at that time I was working in recruitment, and I decided not to go back to work immediately. But he got to, I don't know, he wasn't that old, whatever age he was, sort of, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months. And I wanted to go and do something. So I actually did some voluntary work. So in an office, there was the Council for Voluntary Service, they just needed somebody to do, it just sort of basic work. They didn't know me, they didn't know my family, they didn't know my friends. They paid for my childcare, and it was my 1 day a week away from being a mum. So I can absolutely understand that. And then, not long after that, I went and set up a little business as well, because I needed something that wasn't just being a mum.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with just being a mum. And we keep using the word just as if it's insignificant, and it's not, it's huge. It's a really big job to do, but, we can share that role.
People that do it well, absolutely take my hat off to them, because it's not something I could do in isolation. My kids would suffer if I was sort of forced to stay
I mean, I
at
think
home.
there's now sort of a generation of women coming through who have to go back to work financially because, the cost of living is far higher than it used to be. But there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, lots of employers are more flexible with working from home, and there are lots of jobs in a estate agency that can be done from home. So, and working part-time, because otherwise you're going to lose some really amazing women.
Yeah.
So coming back to being a mum, would you say that it's made you a better negotiator? Because if you've got teenagers now, because you say you're not an estate agent, therefore, I don't quite, you're helping people move, but of course you are an estate agent. But at some point you've got to negotiate. But do you think that negotiating with children and now, teenagers?
I think it's made me much more empathetic.
Right,
definitely.
okay.
More emotional. I cry at everything now. Never used to. I guess in a way, because once you get to teenagers, you can't just say no. You have to.
There's got to be a reason.
Negotiation.
Yeah.
You can't.
You've got to back it up with something.
I told you so.
Yeah.
Because they'll run rings around you. So, I think that's a valid point. It probably does make you.
So, what have you learned from them?
I've learned I'm not as technical as I thought I was. That's a big one. I love, particularly when they were younger, just their way of seeing the world, just through their eyes. And actually, now we're going through teenage dramas and the way that they sort of deal with some of them. And they're actually a lot fiercer than I was, and a lot smarter,
Smarter in terms of knowing what they want?
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Right.
And
where do you think they've learned that from? I suspect they've learned it from you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You see, you're doing that typical thing that women do. They say, it's not me, they've got it from somewhere else. And you obviously have been an amazing role model for them. Do you think they'll follow you into estate agency?
No, I don't know. It's going to be interesting where they land up, because I've always worked from like 11 years old.
Really? What did you do at 11?
Dog grooming.
Did you really? Wow.
I've done, I've collected jobs. And I had an egg round at 13 delivering eggs.
Right, of course you did.
And although I'm not motivated by money, it was important to me I had my own money.
Right.
I actually set up a business for them delivering leaflets. They're just not interested at all.
They weren't interested in that?
No.
Okay.
No. And my eldest is sort of looking at work now, doesn't really know what she wants to do.
Is she going to go to university?
No, she's probably going to go into hospitality or something
Right, okay.
like that. That's where she's looking. My youngest wants to be a vet.
Right.
Which, and she
needs good grades.
Yeah, she's quite focused on working at the moment. So I don't know.
So not in a estate agent.
No.
Now, I suspect your eldest then, because I see a lot of people that have got hospitality backgrounds working in a estate agency. Because I mean, it teaches people to talk, to engage with their customers. And Clare Yates, do you know who Clare Yates, one of the trainers that does our leadership training, she said that you're finding that younger people, because they use their phones all the time, they don't, a lot of the time don't talk to their friends, not even on the phone.
No.
They're messaging all the time. So they're what I would call interpersonal skills are not great unless they've worked in hospitality. So I would encourage everybody to get their kids a job in a cafe, a bar, a restaurant, because if they learn that, and it's hard work as well. But I think it gives them, some really good skills. Absolutely. So she's the one that's going to end up in a estate agency, for sure.
We'll see.
For sure. So I know you've had lots of really good role models yourself in the studio. Do you want to do some name checks on some of the people that you really admire?
So I've just been so fortunate to have some incredible people around me, to be honest. But certainly Chris, the owner of Harrison's, he's always...
Has he, I don't know Chris, but has he been an estate agent forever?
Yeah, 17.
Okay. Always his own business, or did he...
No, he started out as a trainee, worked his way up, bought it out.
Right.
So always in the same company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, incredible story. And he actually spoke at the FIA conference last year.
Right.
He's doing incredible things. He's
and he's obviously been very supportive and encouraging, because you joined to do marketing.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let it lie.
No, not at all. He was very patient, because I did say absolutely not. I'm not being an estate agent several times. And then when I agreed and said, all right, I'll come to Harrison's, I basically, I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
This is how I want to do it. And he's given me enough rope to hang myself. And
but it's working though.
Yeah,
it works.
Is nice.
So who else? Because I know when we were talking before, there was a few other role models.
Yes, so Graham from the Federation of Independent Agents. He saw something in me in my previous business, and when I walked away from that, he reached out and actually put me in touch with Chris.
Right, okay.
And Harrison's became my first client, and it just gave me that confidence. Simon Gates is amazing.
Oh, Simon's lovely.
Yeah.
We've had him on the pod.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Simon. Yeah.
And my maiden name was Gates, so we always say we're cousins.
But he's doing very well with his business. But
he's the nicest man in the estate agency. He's great. Rob Brady from Iceberg Digital. He was a local agent in neighbouring town to me.
So lots of men that obviously had an influence in your career, which is great. Seeing them identifying something in you and then really sort of championing you to forge that career, which you never intended. In fact, you were fighting against it, but they must have recognised something in you. So, women in estate agency. I know you've been a member probably from the start, I think, certainly from the early days. What does it mean to you, and how does it help you in your sort of day-to-day business?
So I think just sort of acknowledging that mental load that we as women absorb, rightly or wrongly. It's, you know, actually sometimes you'll see people having a struggle and you're like, that's where I was a week ago, and you can chime in and say something nice. Also, just that collaboration between agents and things.
I love the collaboration and the support in the group, and it's that kind of lifting people.
Yeah.
So if they have had a bad day, so obviously men don't know what goes on in the group, and I think some of them have quite a negative thoughts about what's been spoken about, but it's not. It should always be to lift people and support them and direct them, you know, signpost if that's what's necessary. No marketing, no pitching. It's really, we're just there for each other, and there's always somebody that's gone through similar, whatever it is, whether it's just a bad day or, and it could be, you know, a technical issue or something to do with renters' rights or whatever, or just want to tear their hair out. And you know, hopefully one day it won't be necessary to have a group like that, but until then we are here. So we're nearly at the end of our time now, Liz. But what we do ask everybody is to nominate somebody to be in the hot seat. So who would you nominate? Because on the notes that I had, I think it was still TBC. So have you thought of somebody?
Well, so I had a quite controversial one.
Ooh.
Which, because I'm a massive fan of the sort of no valuation messaging that he's trying to get out there. So that was Charlie Landing.
Oh, right.
But I think probably what would be better is one of the team from Carrington's who are actually implementing it. So I'd be interested.
Right, we'll make a note of that and we will reach out. Liz, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You've been a fantastic guest. Thank you.